again.
Welcome back to Joe's Drive-In. I know it's been a while and I'll explain at the end of the video, but in short, I've been exceptionally busy and I'm sorry for the lack of content. Anyway, in my time off, I have tried to see new movies when I can. Normally I'd make a short about my first impressions, but this time I felt it would be fun to recap everything I've seen in 2025 so far. Truthfully, I must say it's been pretty good. There really isn't anything I didn't enjoy, so let's get into it, starting with Mickey 17. I started my movie year out strong with Mickey 17. This movie was quite good. Set in a sci-fi future, Robert Pattinson plays Mickey, a down-on-his-luck guy that signs up to be an expendable. This is where his entire being is uploaded into a computer, allowing him to be constantly reprinted as he dies from various suicide missions and experiments. I enjoyed this one a lot. It's got a lot to say, it's funny, and features very relevant political commentary. Truthfully, I've seen very little of Robert Pattinson's work, and I was unaware of the acting range that he really has. He does such a fantastic job here playing multiple versions of Mickey. The supporting cast was great too. I would be surprised if we don't see this movie at the next Oscars in some way. It's still too early in the year to say that it deserves to win, but I predict at least a nomination. Mickey 17 is an enjoyable must-see. Check it out when you can. The Monkey. I think a lot of people hated The Monkey, but I had a good time. It's based on a Stephen King short story about a wind-up toy monkey that kills people when its key is turned. It's a horror comedy that promises lots of deaths and lots of laughs, nothing more. This movie did not take itself seriously for a second, and I loved that. It's been a while since I saw something that really knew what it was and didn't try to be anything more. Not everything has to be a cinematic masterpiece. I thought it was funny and that the kills were creative as well as over the top. I can't say that this was a huge hidden gem that people needed to see in theaters. It's certainly a wait for streaming type of movie, but I'm glad I got to check it out. I could see this becoming somewhat of a cult classic in the future. The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. Did you know that the Looney Tunes have never had a fully animated theatrical film of their own? Did you know that there is one now? For most people, the answer is probably no, as Warner Brothers seems to be hell-bent on destroying all their animation. You're more than welcome to dive into that rabbit hole on your own, but in short, a bunch of movies have gotten cancelled, but by some miracle, this one made it to the public. The Day the Earth Blew Up follows Porky and Daffy as they try to save the world from alien domination. This was a ton of fun, and I'm glad I could catch it during the short run it had. I grew up on a lot of classic Looney Tunes, and it was nice to see these characters back in their traditional style. It fits right in with the old shorts, down to bringing back the classic Porky and Daffy dynamic, but still has a modern spin. This movie is really funny, it's got a lot of heart, and utilizes beautiful hand-drawn 2D animation, which is a rarity these days. Due to its troubled production, it does feel like something is missing, but it's the best they could do. The Day the Earth Blew Up is certainly worth watching, both for its quality and to support the art of animation itself. Captain America: Brave New World. Based on what I heard about this one, I was ready for this movie to suck, but it was alright, I guess. I've always enjoyed the MCU Captain America movies with their focus on espionage and conspiracies, and this one fits right in, but feels watered down compared to the others. It has nothing to do with the absence of Chris Evans, it just has a bland feeling. Characters just seem like they're going through the motions, and the comedy falls flat and feels forced. Something a lot of people are saying is that this is really a Hulk movie disguised as a Captain America movie, which is accurate. It features a lot of callbacks to events from 2008's Hulk movie with Edward Norton, just sticking Sam Wilson's Captain America in the middle of it. In the end, I found myself really enjoying the action sequences, and I appreciated the callbacks that finally do something with plot points established 17 years ago. There were parts of this movie that were super cool, but everything holding that together fell short, making for an extremely mid experience. I kinda wish we could have seen what the original New World Order version of this movie was, but Brave New World is only worth watching for the die-hard Marvel fans. The Woman in the Yard. A damaged family is haunted by an ominous woman that appears in their front yard. This one was cool. I enjoyed it. It's a fresh horror movie dealing with the effects of grief and loss and has a unique spin of having our horror show up in broad daylight. While this isn't the first movie to do this, it's a lot more uncommon. My main complaint here is that it's a little too disorienting, using dreams and the characters' imaginations to fake you out. You never really know what's actually happening or not, which can be a good thing, but I feel like it was just too much here, and I felt a little confused a few times while watching. I couldn't tell what was going on to the point that it was distracting. Otherwise, The Woman in the Yard had a decent feeling of dread and solid scares with an interesting premise. Not a bad movie, but the constant disorientation made this one of the weaker films on this list for me, but it's still worth checking out. Drop. I was really surprised at just how good Drop ended up being. This is a movie about a single mom going on a date and receiving ominous airdrop messages and pictures threatening her child. I thought this would be a really terrible technology, social media bad type horror movie along the lines of Unfriended or Selfie Man. Yeah, that's where a monster appears in your selfies to kill you. But Drop was actually a really solid thriller that's filled with suspense. I love movies where you gotta figure out who the bad guy is, and this movie scratched that itch. Even more surprising, this movie had fantastic cinematography. I was very impressed with the camera work here, and it made a movie with such a visually uninteresting concept feel exciting and engaging. Drop is easily my biggest sleeper hit I've seen so far this year, a very pleasant surprise. Sinners. To put it simply, Sinners is about vampires in the Jim Crow era American South, but there's a lot more to it than that. I won't lie, I have nothing but good to say about this movie. Sinners was so fucking cool, I loved every minute. I love the performances, with Michael B. Jordan doing a great job playing a dual role, and Miles Caton, I hope I'm pronouncing his last name right, really stands out in his acting debut. Everything about this movie blew me away. The cinematography, the characters, the music, god, the music was amazing. There was this one sequence that was one of the coolest things I've seen recently. It's crazy that this is a horror movie that's a little over 2 hours, and my only complaint is that I couldn't spend another 2 hours with these characters. The world and characters of Sinners are so interesting to watch that they carry the movie even without the horror and vampire elements. I love how much positive attention it's getting too. The first time I tried to see it, the theater was actually sold out, and it was still packed the night I actually did. Reviews seem very positive, and Sinners is one of those films that deserves the hype. This is a movie where there just isn't anything else exactly like it, and it's 100% worth seeing. I would say it's an easy pick for the Oscars, but the Academy hates horror movies. Sinners is easily the best movie I've seen so far this year, and I'll be buying it as soon as it drops on physical. Thunderbolts. Coming back to Marvel, I had very low expectations for Thunderbolts, but was surprised to hear people saying it's actually good. The bar really isn't that high for Marvel anymore now that it's actually good is the standout, but anyway, I'd say they're right. Coming off the underwhelming Captain America, Thunderbolts is action-packed, funny, and really has something to say dealing with more mature themes about mental health, guilt, and trauma. I really liked the character dynamics with a more assassin and anti-hero based team-up, and the villain was a serious threat too. Probably the biggest weakness of the movie is that despite the Thunderbolts being a 7-person team, the movie is really focused on Yelena, with most of the other team taking a back seat. Like, Ghost is in this movie, and I couldn't tell you a single thing she says, and don't even get me started on Taskmaster, if you know you know. But at the end of the day, Thunderbolts was quite enjoyable and is one of the better Marvel movies in quite some time. I really liked this one. Bring Her Back. Here's another horror movie that I actually got to see early thanks to Regal's Monday Mystery Movie Night. As of writing this, the movie's not out yet, but I actually saw it May 19th. Dealing with demonic possession and the occult, Bring Her Back is easily the most horrific of the horror movies I've seen this year, and it's pretty heavy too. I would say this movie is decently scary and grossed me out a bit with its sheer amount of body horror. I usually don't mind it, but there's certain parts of this movie that really got under my skin. The acting was great, and the movie deals with themes of loss and trauma for some added depth. I thought this movie was really good. It was pretty grisly, but it is certainly worth a watch and is a great new horror film. Just know it's not for the faint of heart. And that's everything I've seen so far this year. I'm looking forward to watching more soon. It's a little different from the usual content, but let me know if you'd like to see more stuff like this. So I know there's been a longer gap than usual between videos, and I do apologize for the lack of activity. I've just been very preoccupied with life outside YouTube. I've been busy moving into a new place, and the transition to a new setup has been a bigger process than I had planned. Beyond that, I also have an office job that has kept me very busy, and the combination of both things together have burned me out pretty bad. Rest assured though, I love making videos and I haven't gotten tired of making them. I've just been struggling with motivation, and the small windows of free time I've had have been spent trying to unwind. But the good news is that I'm done putting things off, and next video we're back to our regular program of checking out movies from across time. What'll be playing at the drive-in next? You'll just have to wait a little longer. See you then. By the way, just saying, if you want to make this my job instead, well, you know what to do.